Okay, episode 1 of whatever this YouTube channel ends up turning into. Today we're going to talk about weight loss. We're going to talk about kind of the do's and don'ts, tips and tips. And if you haven't gathered already, this channel's going to be very raw. Yes, there'll be a little bit of edited content. I might even put some fancy photos in to show you befores and afters. But honestly, it's more about the content that I'm talking about than the actual content and the way that it seems visually. So, a little bit of background about myself. I'm Tom Parker. I have been losing weight or weight training or running or just into general fitness since I was 25. I'm now 30. I started at around 300 pounds and the lowest I've been to is actually 185. So my actual total disparity between the two as an adult is sort of 115 pounds. So I've lost a considerable amount of weight. It's not without its drawbacks, but I've lost that weight and I've changed my life astronomically because of it. I won't go into too much detail because there'll be a later video about it, but I started off with 10k runs for charity. Someone introduced me to the gym and I haven't gone back, and currently bodybuilding, absolutely love it because I always started because I wanted to look better, and bodybuilding is sort of the process of building your body into something that you admire, and others per se, if you go to the competing side of things, but it was always for me and how I felt. So the main question I get asked on Instagram and various other social media platforms is, how did you get started? What helped you stop start yo-yoing, changing, not being able to sort of stay on any set routine or any format? What really helped you, sort of lose that weight, but also keep it off in the period of time where you want to? And I think the main thing is to stop worrying, start sort of focus yourself into what your goal is. Don't try and, I know most people watching this who want to lose weight have Googled how to get a six-pack in 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Most people have Googled how to lose belly fat or love handles, and those things don't happen overnight. And also, it's not possible to gain a six-pack or lose belly fat or love handles without reducing your entire body fat. Now, there's some people that can be overweight and have visible abs. There's some people that can be underweight and not have visible abs. It's all based on your personal genetics. You can't target specific areas of body fat you want to lose. You might have really big glutes and you might really like that and not want to lose them. Unless you've got muscle underneath there and it's not just fat, potentially that's going to go first. Certainly for me, love handles and abs were... They took me a very long time. It took me 3 or 4 years to even see abs for the first time. It took me another 2 years to develop them to the point where they were out all the time without having to sort of be fasted in the morning and, sort of dehydrated such to actually see them. And it took a very long time to get to that point. So the first major tip I would give is do away with fad diets. Yes, they work, but for a short period of time. They're not going to work for everybody. They essentially will help you lose that first sort of 10 to 15 pounds pretty rapidly, really quick. Anyone can say to you, just drink shakes every day. I did Slim Fast for 2 years when I first began, and it was the worst thing I could have possibly done, because for 3 months I lost a load of weight. I felt really good. I thought, right, I'm in the right frame of mind now. I'm going to go back to eating the way that I did. And I did. And I put all the weight back on and then some. And then I felt even worse about myself because I felt like I'd let myself and everybody else around me down because I hadn't fulfilled that goal, and I'd been saying I was going to do it and everyone was really proud, and then it's forgotten pretty quickly, and then you kind of go back into your binge eating habits, as it were, which I'm sure many people who are overweight, and when I say overweight I mean properly overweight. You may want to lose body fat, you may want to reduce the weight that you are, but I'm talking about people that are obese and to a point where it becomes unhealthy. Other fad diets, keto, things like that, yes, there is a time and a place. There is some people that do fantastic with them, some people that it really works for, but as soon as you come away from those diets, you go back to the way you were before, because you're not changing your body, you're not changing your lifestyle and your habits, you are just manipulating that period of time. As soon as you come out of keto diet, start eating carbs, you start getting watery again, you start gaining weight, you start hating life and thinking things are terrible, and they're just not. It's, So way that I started, the way that I actually started to see real progress was I tracked all of my food. And to do so, whether you use an app, whether you do it on a bit of paper, tracking your food and just calories. We're not talking about bodybuilding, we're not talking about weightlifting, we're talking about weight loss. We want to lose overall weight. We're not trying to target to increase muscle. This is a beginning, this is the start of a journey. This is where we just want to start losing weight and feeling good about ourselves and being in a position where we can go to the gym, we can run a little bit further, we can go and do those walks. So tracking calories, you've got to work out what the maintenance is, come a little bit down from that maintenance. Don't go doing 1,200 calories for 12 months. Trust me, I've tried it. 12 months, including Christmas Day, birthday, everything. It doesn't work because you lose all that weight and then you've got nowhere to go. And when your body plateaus, you can't lose any more weight. You can't reduce any more food. Then you'll add another gym session, another training, and you get to the point where it's just not sustainable anymore and it's unhealthy. So we always start as high as we possibly can, bring food down slowly. You're not going to lose 3 or 4 stone in the first month. It takes time, it takes perseverance. It's a long, drawn out process. So the first thing I started doing was tracking calories, ensuring that I wasn't going over my daily calories, ensuring that I tried to meet them as best as possible. To do so, obviously to satiate hunger, things like that, one of the things that I included was 0-calorie drinks. I do drink a can of Monster every day. It's not the healthiest, but if that's my only vice, then I'm happy to do that. And some people smoke, some people drink, but rather than doing those things, I choose to have a can of Monster because it's my daily routine. It's like having a coffee in the morning. But 0-calorie drinks like Pepsi Max, Diet Coke, etc. These things help fill you up. They make you feel like you've had a treat, maybe chew some chewing gum. You can also have things like 0-calorie jelly, extra things like that just make you feel like you've had a treat that day, that sort of stop you from going to the cupboard and getting a chocolate bar or eating a bag of crisps or overindulging with whatever's going on. That sort of thing it's a good way to lead your mind down the correct path, that it's okay to have a treat, but those treats have to be correct. Something else that I definitely didn't do to begin with that I do every day now is drink enough water. When you start drinking water and everyone will laugh about it, all you want to do is go for a piss constantly. But your body gets used to it and things start to change and it keeps you full, your stomach is full. If you're drinking water before you eat your meal, you're going to feel like you're full quicker. It helps your body process the food a lot better. Just all around for general health, drinking more water is sort of a perfect addition to a well-balanced diet. On top of that, something that I'm a big advocate of, eating vegetables and salad and fruit. It doesn't have to be that your lunch every day is chicken and salad. If you don't want chicken and salad, don't have chicken and salad. You can have a Mexican chicken wrap with chicken with fajita seasoning on and salad added in, or vegetables added in, that tastes nice. It doesn't have to be everything you hate. Don't eat food you don't like. If you don't want them, don't eat them. And it's as simple as that. And there's lots of people that don't like those things. I don't really like salad that much, so I have more vegetables than salad. I don't like all types of fruit, so then the fruit that I do like, I make sure that I have enough of it. And again, that goes to that sort of healthy, balanced diet as well. And you're adding in those micronutrients that your body needs to help you function at a higher velocity. Function better, essentially. So the other major thing that I started doing and I've not really come away from is throw out that old ideology of 3 square meals a day. Morning, lunch, evening. There's a couple of reasons for that. First one is if you're prone to snacking, you're prone to overeating. If you're eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, your body is used to that, so then you're not going to crave food in between those times. So some people have 6 meals a day, some 5, some 4. For me at the moment, I find that 4 and a snack works perfectly as I'm maintaining my body weight. When I'm training for a cut, I actually make that 5 or 6 if I want to lose some body fat and some weight, because it just means that although the calories are reduced, I feel like I'm having more food through the day, and honestly the volume is quite high anyway. And then the other side of that is it helps with your body and your digestion. So it means you're not going to feel, if you have a massive breakfast in the morning or you don't eat all day and you have 2 big meals later on in the evening, what's going to happen to your body is it's not going to process that food correctly, so it's not going to go through your intestines fast enough, and on top of that, it's going to start using some of that and putting it to the fat stores because you're going to start overspilling. That's in extreme cases, but what I would say is if you feel bloated after a meal, then there's too much food in that meal, and maybe we need to split them down into more easier to digest and a better process through the day for the number of meals that you've got. The other thing is mindset. The first 6 to 8 weeks, you're not going to see massive changes physically. You're not going to see them. Like, you're going to look in the mirror and you might one day think your jawline looks a little bit better, the next day you won't. Some mornings you're going to wake up and you are going to be bloated. Some mornings you're going to wake up and you do feel watery and you're going to think, oh, this is a waste of time. Maybe the scales aren't going down every day or every week. You've got to persevere. You've got to push through that. You've got to tell yourself that I am doing the correct thing, and if this doesn't work, I'm doing the correct thing and this is going to work, but it takes some time. And it's not overnight. It's not something that you can just go, right, 2 weeks time, I'm going to lose a stone, I'm going to be great. Trust me, I've had clients and I've seen people do it where 4 to 6 weeks they look completely different. But it's not always the way, not everybody's body's the same. But the one thing I would say is that, particularly in the case of bodybuilders and people that gain and lose weight rapidly, once you've done it once, your body gets used to it and you actually find it much easier to go again. So in terms of mindset, it's just perseverance, it's pushing through, staying as consistent as possible, and making sure that you're hitting those goals, you're eating the meals, and you're eating all of them, and you're not leaving half of them and saying that you tried. You eat all of them, and to begin with, it's going to seem like a lot of food. Like, when you eat a healthy, balanced diet over 4 or 5 meals in a day, you're going to feel full. And if you're not, then your diet is wrong, because there is no reason why at the beginning of a weight loss diet that you should be hungry at all. But as things come down, you will feel hungry. Your stomach will rumble. You will think about food. You will think about and crave sugar and sweets. Now, the one thing that most coaches won't advocate, but I do, and I think that it's a perfect way, especially for someone new into trying to lose weight loss, is cheat meals. And I have them when I'm not training for bodybuilding, when I'm not in a cut, when I'm bulking, or when I'm maintaining. Cheat meals are perfect. Cheat meals are a fantastic way of staying on track, staying consistent, and making sure that you are not going to cheat on your diet. If, let's take a theoretical weight loss person. They have got a diet, they eat set meals Monday through to Friday. Saturday is their day that they have a cheat meal, okay? Rather than having a cheat meal in the morning that then ends up being the whole day, which then ends up being Sunday as well, what I would advise is your cheat meal is on a Sunday, and that cheat meal is for a 1 hour period on a Sunday. You can eat whatever you want for 1 hour. If you still have food left on your plate after that hour, or if you've taken a tub of ice cream out of the freezer and it's on the side and you've not been able to get to it yet because you're still eating your dinner, you don't eat it. It's done. You've had that hour. That was your opportunity. That's how you're going to move forward. It means that the foods that you feel like you need to have, it means that the family meals that you think you might miss out on, it means that the birthday cakes, it means the things you're craving, you still get those once a week. So rather than going 10 weeks without them and then binge eating all the way through the next 10 weeks because you couldn't believe that you managed to do it. No, we have to change our mindset. We have to change our lifestyle. It can't be that today we're going to do this and tomorrow we're going to do that. It has to be that consistently, for a very long or forever, we eat a consistent, well-balanced diet, however, at maintenance, below maintenance, or slightly above. And, we make sure that once a week, you have a consistent cheat meal to ensure that you, for your mental and physical well-being, you're getting those treats and you feel like you're still having that life. So I'm a father of 3. I have a partner. I have a full-time job. When I started, exact same thing, except I worked in an office rather than from home. And it's difficult. It is difficult to fit in steps, cardio, weight training, prepping meals, cooking, not being able to eat the same food as everybody else, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. But there's so many ways to make that better. You can eat the same food as everybody else, but you eat the right amounts. As long as, if you're having dinner, rather than having jack potato with beans and cheese, you have jack potato with tuna. And, we swap out some of these higher calorie foods for slightly lower calories, or we reduce the quantities. Still a well-balanced, good diet within your calories for the day. And then when you get more advanced, you can start aiming for higher protein so that you can start building muscle. There's lots of other avenues to go down, but to begin with, just focus on calories and ensuring that you are staying below those calories every day, or on target for the calories you need. Now, after a set amount of time, whatever that would be, everybody's body is different. I can lose weight eating 3,000 calories a day. Some people can't. Some people have to eat 2,000. We start at maintenance. We remove 200 calories and we see what happens. And when your weight is stagnant for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and it hasn't changed, that's the time to make a change in your diet or your training to ensure that your calorie deficit is higher. So we could take some calories out. Let's say that you don't go to the gym, you go for 5k steps every day, and that's it. That's all the output you have from your body. And let's say that your daily calories are 2,000, you stop losing weight. We can either remove food, or we can add in more training. We can add in maybe 10k steps a day to see whether the weight carries on moving down consistently. And rather than going with all the tools straight away, loads of people, so many people that I know, some people have asked me questions before. You know, I've been doing this for 6 weeks. I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. I'm doing 10k steps every day. I'm doing an hour of cardio every day. I've stopped losing weight. I can't lose any more. I can't eat any less food than I am because it makes me want to binge eat because I'm under eating and I'm, this, that and the other. We have got so many tools in our arsenal to lose weight. We don't have to use those tools all in one go. We can decide which tools to use when we use them, and we deploy them at the right time. So to begin with, on a weight loss journey, the main thing is to get into a set routine with food in a comfortable, workable lifestyle in a way that we can do it. If you eat 4 meals a day, and those 4 meals are breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then you decide to have a pudding, and that pudding doesn't have to be chocolate cake and custard or jam roly-poly. That can be Greek yogurt with some granola mixed in, or you could have 2 breakfasts. So one breakfast could be yogurt, the next one could be toast with eggs. You design it how you want it to be, or your coach will, which is something we'll move on to next. But the one thing I would say is that to be successful in long-term lifestyle changes when it comes to weight loss is to do it slowly, one thing at a time. Find your maintenance calories and stay at those maintenance calories, reduce it slowly, add a little bit more cardio in. And you know what? If you can't do 20,000 steps a day, there's nothing wrong with you. You're okay, you're fine. I struggle to get 10,000 steps in, work, be with the kids, do family stuff, date nights. It's really difficult to do that and do cardio and train, and then on top of that, social media as well. It's hard. Life is not that easy. And then you can find ways to include the kids. You can, if you don't have kids, you find ways to include your dog or your family or whatever it is you want to do. If you like going out on the weekends and getting drunk, nothing wrong with that. That's okay. People have their lifestyles, they do things that they want to do. But do you need to drink? Or can you go out and enjoy that time without alcohol? Can you go and drink, lemonade or Pepsi, or, be the designated driver for the night instead? Or if you do want to drink, instead of having a cheat meal, you decide to drink those calories instead. But then you have a set amount that you're going to drink. We're not going to go and have 10 pints and get completely obliterated. Maybe we're going to have 2 or 3, and then maybe 2 or 3 vodka lemonade. It's about changing that mindset, that lifestyle. We don't need to overindulge. You've had everything you're craving right now, you've had plenty of in your life. If you're overweight to the point where it's become a detriment to your health, either physically or mentally, you've enjoyed everything you want to enjoy. So rather than saying, okay, I'm going to cut it out completely, I'm never having it again, I'm going to lose all this weight, rather than saying I'm going to cut it out for a year and try and lose weight and then I'll start again, start changing your mindset and saying, yeah, I do want those things, but I'm going to have that once every 4 weeks because I also want this and I want that. And I'd like to go out for a drink this week. Now, cheat meals don't have to be the same every week. You might have a wedding to go to, and you'd like to eat the wedding meal, then you would eat the wedding meal. You might have a stag do to go to, or a hen do to go to, and you want to have a drink. So then that hour, or however you use your free time, is having those drinks. And it's okay to have a night off. It's another key point that I've got written down as well. You're not a pro athlete. Most, if not all, the people that are going to watch this video are not pro athletes. You're not going to be standing on stage. You're not going to be competing in a competition. You're doing this for you. So if you have binge eaten and you have broken your diet, rather than beat yourself up about it, you wake up tomorrow morning and you make better choices. we don't have to beat ourselves up about it. We don't have to wake up in the morning, our weight's not gone down, oh my God, I'm going to start again, or it's like quit smoking. If you had one cigarette last night, don't go and buy a pack of 20 and smoke them the next day, because then you're just going to get back into the same mindset and carry on, and it's not going to work. And then you're going to do the same thing, and then you're going to try another fad diet and this diet and that diet, and it just, it's not sustainable. You've got to stop thinking about things in a time frame as well. Rather than saying, for this day, I want to be here, just start doing it and see what happens. When I started, I genuinely wanted to be, I wanted a six pack, I wanted to be shredded, I wanted that to be everything. That was going to be my persona. I wanted that, and it took me 4 years to get a shitty six pack. And I remember most mornings I would wake up and I would look in the mirror and I would be visibly upset with myself because I wasn't where I wanted to be. Not realising that I'd lost like 80 pounds. 80 pounds, this, like that is a huge amount of weight. It's ridiculous to even think that you could have 80 pounds of weight on your body that you didn't need. And then to be mad because you don't look the way you want to look, even though you've lost all that weight. It's difficult, and I know that, and I understand that we all have mental struggles when it comes to the way that we look. I say we all. If you're watching this video, we as a collective have this issue. But you've got to work through those. You've got to understand the reasons why. Is it because the people you surround yourself with? Is it because you think they expect more from you? Is it because of you and your own expectations? Is it because you're on social media and you're looking at all these things, these fad diets and this, that and the other, and X, Y, Z, and this will work and that will work? And honestly, there's a million and one ways to skin a cat, but what I'm explaining to you today is that it's about you and what you can do. I think that if you're going to get upset and angry with yourself and then binge and ruin it, then you're pushing yourself too hard, and maybe we need to take it slower. Maybe today is not going to be the day that you're going to lose another pound, but today might be the day that we stay consistent and we don't lose track. And it's better to stay where you are than to get worse. And we take one small step at a time to get to the eventual goal. And for me personally, I have goals that I'd like to achieve, but there is no end goal. It's to be happy and and to change life. So something else that I'll touch on briefly before the end of the video is weight loss completely changed my life in every way. I was timid. I was very quiet. I wasn't very assertive. I had a lot of thoughts in my mind. I'm a very imaginative person, especially when it comes to business, but I won't talk. I won't say those things. I wouldn't get it out. I was scared to step out of my comfort zone because I might be laughed at. And what happened when I started losing weight is my confidence grew, but not in an egotistical way. My confidence grew in a point where I went from being an internal sales executive, just, bottom of the food chain. I knew what I was doing, but never really spoke out of turn, to today, 5 or 6 years later, sales manager for a company that is globally worth 5 billion. And that only came about because I lost weight, because I stayed consistent, because I felt better about myself. I put a suit on in the morning and I felt like I'm ready for the day. Now, I put a suit on before that and I'd be questioning how I looked, and I'd be so worried about the fitment of my clothes and how I looked in the mirror that I wouldn't see what I was capable of. But then as soon as I stopped worrying about those things, started feeling confident, I then could focus on what I was doing, and I felt confident. I didn't feel like I'd be laughed at, and it takes time. The first time I visited a customer, I was shaking, and I sat in the car for probably 45 minutes, scared to go in. But after that first time, when I took that leap, I took that step forward, perfect, fine. Dating, I've been in a long-term relationship for some time now, but during a period of time I was single, and to begin with, I hadn't been single for well over 10, 11, 12 years, and I was so fucking worried about what people would think, if anyone would like me. I was scared to download dating apps because I didn't really I didn't feel comfortable with myself, and I didn't think anybody else would either. But then as soon as you start to feel a bit more confident and you step forward and you try to put that effort out there, you realise that you've been worried about something that you didn't really need to be worried about. And growing that confidence through weight loss or muscle gain, or even weight gain for some people, definitely helps. 100%, and it changed my life categorically. I earn more than I've ever earned. I'm a better dad than I've ever been. I'm a better partner to my girlfriend than I've ever been to anyone ever, you know, and I enjoy life so much more than I ever did, and that's all down to this. So to summarise, we avoid fad diets. Don't go fasting, don't do slim fast, don't go to Weight Watchers. These things aren't consistent. You can do them for a period of time, but then you need to have a break, and we need to make a lifestyle change so that we change ourselves for good, not just for a short period of time. 0 calorie drinks are your friend. Low calorie snacks are your friend. You know, yes, there is a downside to all of these things, but at the same time, if that's your only vice, then I would say you're doing okay. I would say that if having that 0 calorie monster in the morning, or 15 calories, but you know, 0 carb, helps you through that day and stops you binging, that's much better than binge eating and having 3 takeaways in one day, which is something I would do. Little and often, fit it into more meals in a day. If you work shifts and you find it really difficult, or you can't step away from your desk, take a protein shake and a bar. You know, just eat a protein bar and have a protein shake or a meal replacement shake. Make sure you get them in, get the calories to the point where they need to be. Keep yourself full and satiated. Now, that might sound counterproductive because you don't really want to be drinking calories, you want to be eating calories. But what I would say is that if you spend a whole working day not eating, or maybe you've not had breakfast and you haven't eaten until 12 o'clock, you're going to be so hungry that you will overeat. You'll get home and you'll be searching the cupboards for something quick to eat while your dinner is cooking. We've all done it. I'll just have a couple of biscuits before dinner. That's more calories going in you didn't need. But if you'd had a shake in the middle of the day, good calories, and you'd kept your food split evenly through the day, it's going to make you feel so much better, and again, avoid that binge eating, overeating habits that you've grown to have. Mindset, like we said, keep it positive. We're not pro athletes. We are not going to stand on stage next week. We are not going to compete in a competition. You might be training for a run, something like that. But at the end of the day, your only competition is you. And as long as you're doing better than you did yesterday, then you need to be happy. And even if we take a few small steps backwards, don't give up. Keep going forward. There's no need to give up everything and just decide that, enough's enough, and then try again in 6 months' time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your lifetime. One day, all of this is going to end. And don't you want to do the best possible things that you could have done to enjoy it in the best possible way? Finally, time frame. There's no quick fix. There's no one-stop shop. Even if you go and get liposuction, even if you go and have gastric band surgery, these things don't happen overnight. You don't change overnight. There's still physical problems that come after it. There's still scarring from these things. There's still, health implications and issues. Who cares? Just because you see celebrities doing stuff, just because you see Chris Bumstead standing on stage looking incredible, or you see actors in Hollywood, these guys are, number one, genetic freaks. Number two, don't have the same problems or have had thousands and thousands of pounds to get to where they are. And it's a very small percentage of people that actually are able to do those things. You don't need to, you can do it yourself. But just take your time and don't give up. That's the end of that. If you like it, like and subscribe. Give me a comment about what you'd like to see more of and further points. First video, extremely raw. There probably won't be any editing in this one. Well, there definitely won't be any editing in this one. I'm going to put it out on YouTube. Contact me about coaching, which is a completely different thing that we'll talk about in another video. It does lend itself to this, but I feel like it deserves an entire video, so we won't go over that now. But if you like it, hit me up.